As Sophia brushed her lips softly against my cheek, she murmured, "Just a quick trip with my friends for the weekend." Her familiar, polished smile flickered, one I'd seen countless times before. I gave a quiet nod, my eyes following as she tugged her suitcase toward the door. She was convinced I'd swallowed her story. She thought I'd be sitting here, waiting for her return. She couldn't have been more mistaken. The moment the door clicked shut, I let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been clutching. For months, I'd noticed the secretive texts she tried to hide, the extra care she took with her appearance on certain days, the girls' nights and work dinners that always left behind a faint scent of cologne that wasn't mine. Sophia hadn't been careful. She didn't think she needed to be. That was her critical error. I'd confirmed it weeks ago, not with a detective, but by piecing together the cracks in her facade. Her getaway wasn't with friends. She was headed to an upscale resort 2 states over, meeting him, completely unaware that I knew her plans. Even less aware of what I had in store. I opened my phone's notes. Every step was laid out, every detail meticulously planned. I'd already untangled our finances, redirected my paychecks, and separated our accounts. My name was off the lease. All the bills, now hers alone. Every subscription, every utility I'd covered, canceled. When she returned, she'd find not just an empty home, but my entire existence erased. I moved through the apartment with calm precision. My clothes, my jackets, the worn sweatshirt she loved to borrow, all packed. In the bathroom, I collected my razor, my cologne, even the toothbrush tucked in the drawer. The fridge no longer held my groceries. The furniture I owned, half of it, was gone. The TV, my gaming system, even the coffee maker she relied on every morning, all mine, all removed. By the time I finished, the place felt like a sterile model home, devoid of any trace of me. A glance at my phone showed her check-in at the Coastal Haven Resort. Oblivious to the upheaval awaiting her. I placed the apartment key on the kitchen counter, gave the space one final scan and walked out. No letter, no text, no theatrical farewell, just absence. She thought she could betray me and still have me as her safety net, loyal and predictable. She misjudged me entirely. The door closed behind me, and for the first time in ages, I felt unburdened, like stepping into fresh air after being trapped in a suffocating space. The fading sunlight bathed the parking lot in a warm glow as I headed to my car. This wasn't a rash choice. I hadn't acted impulsively. I'd been preparing with careful precision. The key on the counter was the last remnant of me. Every other tie to that life was cut. She'd have no way to reach me, no clue where I'd gone. That was by design. Behind the wheel, I glanced back at the apartment one last time. So many moments lingered there. Laughter, warmth, shared habits. But those had faded long ago, eroded by the slow decay of trust. The walls were never the soul of our home. That had been our love, our honesty. Both were long gone. My phone pinged with another update. Sophia Bennett checked in. I smirked. She truly believed she'd pulled it off, likely sipping a cocktail by the pool, sending me half-hearted texts while sneaking kisses with someone else. She thought she still held the upper hand, that I'd always be her fallback, her safe harbor. But I'd stepped out of that role entirely. She was about to learn how thoroughly. I drove to my new place, a one-bedroom, bright and clean, entirely mine. No echoes of betrayal lingered in its corners, no ghosts of what once was. The lease bore only my name, the key cool in my palm. Stepping inside felt not just like a new beginning, but like reclaiming myself. That night, as I unpacked, my phone vibrated. Sophia. Missing you already. Hope your weekend's going well. Can't wait to see you when I'm back. XOXO. Her boldness made me chuckle. She was probably lounging in a robe, toes in the water, sending that text to keep up her charade, thinking I was still naive. I didn't respond. There was no need. Reality would hit her soon enough. I switched off my phone, poured a drink, and settled onto the couch. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, I felt at ease, liberated. Sophia's heels clicked down the hallway as she returned, her suitcase rolling behind her. The weekend had been flawless in her mind. Luxury, indulgence, the rush of her secret. She hadn't thought of me much. She never did when she was caught up in her own desires. I was just a fixture, the one she could always come back to. She reached the door, phone in hand, already typing a breezy message to me, something to mask her absence. But as she stepped inside, her fingers stilled. Something was off. The air felt wrong, unfamiliar. No hint of my cologne lingered. The walls seemed stark, stripped bare. She moved forward slowly, her suitcase abandoned by the door. A knot forming in her gut as unease crept up her spine. Something was gone. Everything was gone. The couch remained where it always had, but the room felt hollow. The coffee table was bare. No trace of my usual clutter, no notebooks. The blanket I always draped over myself while watching TV was missing. A nervous laugh slipped from her lips as she turned toward the bedroom. "Ethan," she called, half hoping I'd step out with my usual dry humor, maybe playing some elaborate prank. But the silence was oppressive, swallowing her voice. Her chest tightened as she entered the bedroom, and the truth hit her like a blow. The closet was nearly empty. My shirts, jeans, even the sneakers I kept pristine gone. The drawers where I stored my watch and wallet were vacant. The framed photos of us, the ones she'd dusted just days ago, were nowhere to be found. Panic surged as she rushed to the bathroom, yanking open drawers and cabinets. Nothing. My razor, my toothbrush, the cologne she used to tease me about, all vanished. She stumbled back, her breath shallow, her heart pounding. She grabbed her phone, scrolling frantically. No new messages from me. No missed calls. Her trembling fingers dialed my number. 1 ring, 2, then voicemail. "No, this isn't happening," she muttered, trying again. Voicemail again. Dread settled in. She hurried to the kitchen counter, sifting through mail, bills, forms, junk, but not a single item bore my name. I hadn't just left. I'd erased myself entirely. Sophia gripped the counter, her legs unsteady, the only thing keeping her upright. The apartment, once alive with our shared routines, felt lifeless, foreign. She couldn't catch her breath. She opened her phone again, tapping through old messages. Just last week, I'd texted her. "Need anything from the store?" So ordinary, so steady, so me. But now I was gone, and that reliability felt like something she'd overlooked until it vanished. She sent a text, her hands shaking. "Ethan, what's going on? Where are you? Call me." She stared at the screen, willing it to show a read receipt, a typing indicator, anything. Nothing. The message lingered like a specter, unanswered. She wasn't used to being ignored. Sophia always knew how to spin the narrative, how to tilt it in her favor. But this was uncharted territory. She tore through the apartment, opening drawers, checking cabinets, searching for any sign I hadn't truly left. But every clue pointed to the same reality. I'd wiped myself from her life. Even the Netflix account was locked out. Her name alone remained on the lease. She felt herself coming apart. The cold fear wasn't just guilt, it was loss. I must have known. Of course I had. I'd been planning this, watching her, waiting, letting her believe she could still salvage it. She sank onto the couch, hands pressed to her face, trying to piece it together. How long had I been preparing? All those times I didn't argue, when I stayed silent instead of reacting. Was that indifference? No, it was calculated. Her phone buzzed. Her heart raced. A text from Mia. Sophia barely registered, answering. "Hey, how was your trip?" Mia's voice was bright, oblivious. "Fine," Sophia lied, her tone flat. Mia rambled on about brunch plans, someone's birthday, but Sophia couldn't focus. She stared at the empty corners of the apartment, the bare patches on the walls. Her stomach twisted. "Ethan's gone," she blurted, cutting Mia off. A pause. "Gone how?" Mia asked. Sophia's grip on the phone tightened. "He left. Took everything. Cancelled it all. Like he was never here." Her voice broke. Mia gasped softly. "So he knows." Sophia didn't respond immediately. Admitting it made it too real. She scanned the hollow space again. The silence was louder than any fight they'd ever had. I'd left without a word, without a scene, just a quiet, deliberate exit. Mia's voice softened. "This is bad." "You think?" Sophia muttered, scrolling through old texts, searching for something to cling to. But there was nothing. No reply, just the void of my absence. "Maybe you need some time," Mia suggested, her tone uncertain. Sophia let out a bitter laugh. "This wasn't impulsive. He planned it." Waited until I was gone. Made sure I couldn't stop him. Mia hesitated. So what now? Sophia stood, pacing restlessly. I need to find him. Talk to him. He can't just disappear. He owes me that. Mia's voice was gentle but firm. I don't think he does. Maybe Ethan realized he didn't owe you anything. Maybe he was done with the lies. Maybe he knew you wouldn't change. Sophia froze, her stomach lurching. I was her constant, her anchor. I wasn't supposed to leave. Her phone vibrated. A text. Her breath caught. She opened it. Message failed to send. You've been blocked. Her vision blurred, her hands numb. I wasn't waiting. I wasn't coming back.